Welcome back
to another week
and another episode. When we're filming this today, right now, it is the 1 year anniversary birthday,
which is insane.
Whatever you want to call it, of Running with Scissors, which is very exciting.
Very insane. It's not the 1 year anniversary since we started working on it, but since our first episode launched.
Yes.
Which I don't know if you guys know the story, but it's actually, I'll quickly run it through for you. It was like a random Tuesday,
yeah.
Random Tuesday. I just got a call from Danelle. She called me twice, which never happens. If I miss her call, she's like, no problem, I'll phone you back later. Called me twice. I was like, oh shit, something's seriously wrong. And she's like, we went live by accident.
And it's like 6 a.m.
Yeah, it was super early. I don't know what happened. I think you scheduled it and forgot about it.
I scheduled it and I was planning to move it.
Because we chickened out. Like, that's just, in all honesty, we were way too scared to launch our first episode.
And we knew it was going to launch at some point. We just kind of wanted to have everything perfect before that. And so every time we kind of just moved it out another week, and it went live. And I told a few people in my life that it was going live that Tuesday. So when we then decided to move it out, I
forgot to update them.
I didn't tell them. And so the episode went live, which would have been an easy mistake, just delete it. But all the beautiful, supportive, lovely, amazing humans that I have in my life then went to promote the podcast that went live and we were not aware of. So I couldn't remove it, and it was actually perfect because it pushed us to just do it and just go, and everything doesn't have to be perfect. So we accidentally went live within about 3 hours. We had to market the shit out of it, create reels, create a link tree. And
by we, she means she had to do it.
Yes, and also upload to...
Bless you, it was really your
to YouTube. Because I think at that point in time, we were not even uploaded on YouTube because I was doing it pretty manually. So we were only on Spotify.
Shame, yeah.
But yeah, it was an interesting day. But look at us now.
A year later, which is crazy. I can't believe it is.
It also feels like we've been doing this for like 5 years. But it has it's gone quick.
It's gone so quick. I mean, we've been live every Tuesday for...
most
Tuesdays for a year now. That's insane.
We've missed 1 or 2. Sorry. It's on me.
No, honestly.
But yeah, so today we kind of just wanted to chat about a few things that we learned throughout the podcast, things we wish we knew before having a podcast or starting a podcast. And I think it's also very applicable to any business and starting any business. And that's kind of like
what we would tell ourselves.
Exactly. What would we tell ourselves beforehand if we had the opportunity? So yeah, I think the first one is definitely... you have to start before it's perfect. Just push yourself to start. You can make it perfect later, or you can make it better later. I think we are very far from perfect, and our podcast is very far from perfect still. But we've grown a lot, and it's got a lot better in the last year. But we had to have the push of by accidentally launching to be able to do it. So that's one thing, is just do it imperfectly, just do it, just start.
I think if we look back now, we could set a date and stick by that date, even if it means scheduling that episode for that date and be like, I'm not allowed to move it, lock it in. Because it was so easy. I remember it was so easy, and we kind of did back and forth. 1 week I'd call and be like, I don't think we're ready, and the next week she'll call me and be like, I don't think we're ready. So it was really you need to stick with it and just be like, whatever happens,
just trust yourself.
But I think going off of your point there, something that I've kind of got to learn, I actually just thought about it on my way here, was a part of the reason we were scared to launch it was the eyes on us and the attention you'd get from people on the outside. And that attention fades.
Yes.
If that makes sense. Looking back, obviously most people in life know about the podcast.
Yes.
But no one comments on it anymore.
In everyday life,
Yes, in the beginning, people comment oh, I see you've started a podcast, and oh, I've seen, and that can feel quite almost embarrassing.
Yes.
Embarrassing to be oh, yeah, actually. But those questions fade, and now everyone knows you have a podcast. It's not everyday talk. If we talk about it, it's because they're really interested in what we said, or they're oh, that was actually a great episode, and so that fades. And I think that those first few weeks or months were the scariest part of the journey, having those conversations, talking about it, and just starting. And then a month in, we're it's second nature.
It really does become quite comfortable. I remember, I feel like the first 6 months at least, we would just it was really hard to film podcasts. It was really hard to sit down and talk and not overshare, that's a big one. But just actually be able to, like, we were trying to add value so badly, but we were overthinking everything and like just trying to get used to it and what will work and what do people want to hear, whatever. And I think at some point it just became a lot easier and like you said, second nature.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I always try and like explain to people, yes, we're comfortable now, yes, it's fun and everything, but it's still scary. Like I still have my days where I'm like, do I really want to play and just schedule it because it's really scary. Or like the reels, I'm just like, oh, this is scary. Why is this so scary? I don't know why it's scary, because people don't care.
They literally don't care. I think that's the biggest, like, the takeaway of that point is those closest to you are going to care because they love you.
Yes.
Those who a little bit further, they literally don't care. They have their own lives. They're living their own.
Exactly. If they want to watch the episode, if they want to watch the reel, they're going to do it. If they don't want to, they're not going to do it. And it's not that deep. I recently ran an event, and basically a client of a client told me that they watched my podcast. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting, because you are very far removed from my circle. And it was just a very daunting conversation, because I was like, oh, what is someone from like the outside thing? But it was such a fulfilling conversation as well, to be like, this human was like, oh no, I think your podcast is really cool, and like what you've been doing is really cool. And just like the fact that you have the confidence to put yourself out there, like I would never be able to do that, but it's amazing. And I think it's really cool, just like what you've built with it. And it's something that I always try and communicate to people as well, is I understand that Running with Scissors is not a massive podcast. It's not like we have thousands of subscribers or thousands of views or whatever. And it's a small little community, but it is so fulfilling in the space that it's in right now even. And Laura and I, like every now and then we'll have a check-in with each other to also be like, how are you feeling? What's your vibe on the podcast? Like, are we still on our initial schedule or our initial like plan for the podcast and our timeline, whatever. And every time we just keep saying, it's still fulfilling, it's still so much fun. It's hard and it's a lot of work and it costs us a lot of money. But at the end of the day, like what we get out of it is enough. And just the fulfillment and the purpose of it. And just knowing that every now and then someone's going to come past and be like, I watch your podcast and it's really helped me through this thing. Or like my sister calling me and being like, I was really struggling with that one thing, really self-conscious about it, but
thank you for talking about it.
Thank you for chatting about it, and like I feel a lot better now. And that is literally why we have the podcast, and that's why we want to keep doing it. And it's that so basically just a thank you to you guys as well for letting us know and like just giving us feedback, because like sometimes it does get into a space where it's like, okay, is this actually making a difference? And then you just get that message or you get that call or whatever, and you're just like, okay, no, it is, it's fine.
And I think that's another thing I would tell myself is like, you're here for a reason. And I think it's such human nature that we want to know why we're here, why we need to be doing this. But both of us like felt a calling to this. It was like something we want to do, something we're very excited about. There were many moments in this year we both were like, oh, why are we here? Why are we doing this? I we sure want to do this, like Danelle said. But we were put in this position for a reason, and just hearing some people listening to it, some stories, like some joy and fulfillment we have gotten out of it. The time it's taken out of our schedules, which is really nice. You know, having something that's like, it's like a passion project.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like reinforced that you're here for a reason. And even if that reason isn't always clear, like you must remember that, you're here doing something that's nothing to do with us, actually. Yeah,
100%. It's so easy to get embarrassed having a podcast, if I'm being very open.
Very easy. Easier than most things in life.
So easy. I mean, we've all heard that thing of, another podcast. Everyone is starting a podcast. And it's so easy to get embarrassed. It's so easy to sit a year later and still not like have the growth that you wanted or that you planned or whatever it may be, and be embarrassed of what you've built. But I think at the end of the day, the growth and the fulfillment it's 100% worth it. Like the personal growth that both of us got, and just knowing that every now and then there's someone who you are helping or equipping better or giving them a different perspective and making them think differently about something is worth it. It's only embarrassing if you're embarrassed. That's what I'm trying to say.
Which you can be embarrassed a lot of the time.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of time it is. I would tell us that I think a lot of the times we felt like we didn't have enough experience or like a valid opinion to give opinion about something or to talk about something that we gone through or learned or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think I'll just validate that you actually do. Like, even if it's such an uneducated opinion, that doesn't matter because that's where we are in our life.
Yeah.
And actually not probably, there were so many people who would be like, yeah, I related to that because they at the same point we were. So you don't need to, you don't need to be like someone's, or this or that to be able to give an opinion. I think you can just be
I think, as long as I'm not telling you that I'm a doctor and like follow my advice,
yes.
like this is a personal experience. I'm going to explain to you what my personal experience was. And that's the whole thing, is just not feeling alone within that. On that same point of like, you don't need to know everything. I do believe that like the consistency is a lot more important than equipment or software or whatever. Once again, like just start. You can make it better later. And equipment and software is obviously a big part of having a podcast, and it's the mics and it's the camera and the editing and the, all of that, and the hosting, which I hate. But
you don't have to have the best of the best at the beginning, at least.
Yeah, you don't have to have the best. Ever. You don't have to have the best of the best. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. We don't have the best of the best camera. I think everyone knows that. But it's not that bad.
But I mean, even if you think, like, I'm sure we all know Call Her Daddy.
Yes.
Podcast. She literally started in her house with just a camera, and that's how she started. I'm not saying we're going to become the next Call Her Daddy. Don't hear what I'm not saying. But what I am saying is people took interest in it still.
Yes.
Because it was just a camera and a girl.
It's more about the content and the authenticity and the consistency more than it is the quality. And don't get me wrong, I do think quality is important in content creation, etc., etc. But showing up consistently is more important. And it also doesn't help. I'm sorry, I'm going to be honest. It doesn't help to start a business or start a podcast or whatever and invest your life savings into it and buy a new 30,000 rand camera or whatever. Yeah, there's certain things that you have to invest in.
That were important to us, yeah.
Exactly. Like software and our mics. And
what we also knew was if this didn't work out, which was like a option, obviously, we would use this again. Would we use a better video filming camera necessarily? No. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like, if this blows up one day, sure, we can invest in all of that.
Yeah.
But right now we don't have to.
It's not like we're trying to become content creators and we're not going to invest thousands in content creation. We felt called to start a podcast and to equip and help people and just create a bit of a safe space and community. And that is what we did. And you don't need the best of the best camera and software and editing team or whatever to do that. Yeah. So it just depends on your goal. So
yeah, I agree. No, I think that's another thing I would say to myself, just like going off of that again, is to just have fun with it. Like, life is so short and there's just so much to experience in life. If, for example, this is actually our reason, I think, at the beginning, was if this is a 2-year thing, looking back when he's 60, to be like, we literally started a podcast. I mean, how fun. And how many people could say that?
Exactly.
We look back, my father-in-law had a clothing brand. He does not do clothing now at all. He had a clothing brand. And we still like look back at that fondly and like talk about it and but like giggle about like the fact that he had it. Because it's just like, it's like, wow.
That's
you
really
took
cool.
a great risk. It was so fun for a few years. It didn't work out, but so what?
Yeah, exactly.
You're still happy, healthy, very successful in what you do.
Yeah.
Didn't do much to your life,
You have to try a bunch of things to get to where you want to be.
It sparked some joy in that time. That's exactly what it's doing. It's like sparking so much joy for both of us. And I think why we just like tracking back to why we started this. Danielle and I were both working for ourselves. We had left formal jobs. And part of a difficult like transition is that your schedule is very empty. You have a lot of time on your hands just because every week looks so different. And some weeks were so empty.
And in the beginning, it's kind of a tough space to be in to start working for yourself from working for someone because you're so used to having a very specific, like you have very specific expectations.
Yes.
Like someone puts expectations on you and you have a very specific schedule and someone constantly tells you what to do, right? Or what they need or how it should look like or whatever it may be. Then you start working for yourself and it's like, oh, now I need to figure that out.
Exactly.
I'll just sit for a bit and try because it's too scary. And that's also why you have so much time.
And so we just decided, let's do this. And you cannot believe how much the consistency of like filming each week, taking your time out of a schedule, setting it apart has helped both of us like build a routine, stay consistent, because it just feels a little bit more structured, which again, like it was just for fun. It brought so much joy. It does still bring so much joy in our life.
My business is a lot more periodic and a lot like based on what the client needs and when they need it. Where Laurie's business is a lot more, you decide when what happens.
More control.
Yes, but also Like you can structure it in a specific way,
Yes.
where I have zero control over when a client wants something. But just having that one thing that is always consistent within my week, and I think for both of us, but just knowing there's one day where we film.
Yeah.
There's one day where I edit. There's one day where it goes live. Like it just
Helps so much.
It helps so much, and it just gives structure to your week. Even if it's one thing that stays consistent, even if it's one thing that stays consistent throughout, like multiple projects that you're running, or multiple clients, or just life in general. Just knowing there's one thing that is always happening, and it's perfect, and we know exactly. Like it just for some reason it just gives me peace.
Yeah. No, it's so good.
And it also for some reason it's like it makes me feel very accomplished knowing that, okay, cool, there's a million things going on in my life, but the one thing that I have control over is sorted.
Yeah, and consistent.
Exactly, yeah.
No, that's so true, yeah. I think the last thing I would tell yourself is that, first of all, it's a really brave thing to do something that's not like in the ordinary, that not everyone does. And I think so many people want to do things that they're scared to do. So you taking that leap is very courageous.
Yes.
But life is just so... We take life way too seriously sometimes.
Yes.
It's just we're here to have a great time. Obviously, like there's a few things you need to be doing, but for most part, we need to enjoy it. And the fear does subside. The fear goes away. It gets much easier. So being brave and taking that leap is, I think something worth doing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it just comes back to the fact that like it's only embarrassing if you're embarrassed. Like, yes, it's a big leap. Yes, it's weird posting videos of yourself on the internet, just like talking, whatever. It's only scary if you decide that it's scary. It's only a big leap if you decide that it's a big leap. Yeah. It's only that deep if you decide it's that deep. Like some things we just need to let go of the fear. We need to let go of the pressure and just enjoy it for what it is. And I think that's kind of like how I've built my career to an extent as well, to just be like, it's not that deep.
No.
Yes, like big deals are important. And yes, paying rent is very important. But at the same time, me putting pressure on it is not going to change the situation. So just relax. Just live a little.
Just live a little. Enjoy it.
The last thing that I would tell myself before starting this podcast was that you don't understand the amount of growth that you will personally experience from it. I've actually had a few people tell me that they can see the growth in me and in Laurie. And that's just really really cool and encouraging to hear. It kind of makes me feel a little bit embarrassed from like the first few episodes. And I'm like, what were we really like? Children or like
yeah.
But as scary as it is, the amount of growth was so worth it and will forever be worth it. And it's kind of just showed me and encouraged me that I can start anything, and if I do it with enough consistency and excitement, it can work. And there'll be growth that comes from that. And so once again, it's not that deep, but also just know there's going to be so much growth. And it's interesting because I think a lot of the time we'll say it has to be hard for you to grow. Like it has to be a difficult situation or a storm or like something that actually like really challenges you to be able to grow. But looking back at us a year ago or like looking back on the last year and some of the struggles that we faced podcast wise, nothing was that stressful or challenging.
Detrimental.
Exactly. The most stressful thing that happened is that Laurie's car got stolen when filming.
But it happens. Like that's
it happens, but also nothing else happened that was like, oh, this is hard.
And most of that is like all like why I'm saying that happens, because it could have happened at a coffee shop, it could have happened at home. Like
yes.
Shit happens, life happens.
Yeah.
But it was never like, it was all like outside noise. Almost,
it was also like always outside factors making it difficult. But kind of like what I'm trying to get at is there was a lot of growth, but not a lot of like storm. There was a lot of growth without the challenge, if that makes sense. Like, yes, we challenged ourselves, and yes, we sat down in front of a camera once a week and filmed an episode. And yes, sometimes the episodes were so bad we couldn't even go live with them. But so yes, fair enough. We put the work in, but the growth is like worth every bit of work. But also, I don't know. That sounds very cliche, but you get what I'm saying. That's what I would tell my younger self, like myself a year ago, is you don't understand the growth that's going to come from this. So rather just like go with it, run with it, put everything in, because it's going to be cool and it's going to be worth it. Yeah, just enjoy it.
Enjoy it, y'all.
Vibes. But thank you guys so much for sticking with us through a year of running with scissors. I would actually love to hear if there's anything that stood out for you guys throughout the last year of running with scissors, or something that means a lot to you, or something that's changed your perspective, or even just something that made you laugh. Please let us know. We want to understand how our community saw the last year of running with scissors. And yes, it was fun for us, and yeah, it was very fulfilling for us, but how did you guys experience it? And also, how would you like us to proceed, how we can improve, like what you want us to focus on more. So yeah, basically,
have the best week. We'll see you next week.
Have the best week. We'll see you next week. And yeah,
bye.
Love you, bye.